Does Thumper die in Bambi? No, Thumper lives, right?
No, Thumper don't die.
Yeah, Thumper does.
Thumper
Only
does.
Bambi's
Thumper don't
parents
die.
Thumper don't die.
Thumper don't have time to bleed. Welcome back, everyone, to S1E1, a show where each week we pick a different sitcom, watch just the first televised episode, and forgetting anything we might know about the future run of that show, rate it and decide if it's a show we want to greenlight or cancel. This week we're going to be talking about Santa Clarita Diet. Santa Clarita Diet went 30 episodes over 3 seasons on Netflix. Today we're talking about episode 1, which was called So Then a Bat or a Monkey, originally airing February 3rd, 2017. So to get things started, I'm Jay Gags. With me, as always, the boys, Joe, Ferg, Nick, and Gordo. What's going on, guys?
Heyo.
Hey,
Suck me, Rick.
Spooky.
Dookie.
I'd like to start this by going on record by saying I think Timothy Olyphant is the most handsome, most charismatic, and best actor of all time. I fucking love him so much. Justified is the greatest show of all time. I love this show. And because weirdness might happen later, and if Timothy Olyphant hears this, I just want to go on record by saying I love him so much that Justified is maybe top 3 shows of all time.
I don't think he's brought up a show more than Justified. He brings up a lot of shows. We all do. But Justified has to be the number one.
It's like Mount Rushmore show for me. It's so fucking good. And he's so great in it.
Never seen it.
But how do you feel about Josh Duhamel?
Who is Josh Duhamel?
He's like his doppelganger. They say it in his episode of The Office as a joke. Because
Oh, right. When he's, I was going to say, because he plays,
Josh, Duhamel, I think. I forget how to spell it. They do look alike. It's not a spitting image, but I think at a certain age, they really looked alike. Not so much anymore.
yeah, I can see it.
So here we are, our 5th and final week of year 5 of the unofficially named Spooky Dookie month, where for the entire month of October, we do, ghost, paranormal, Halloween-ish type shows. So here we are with Santa Clarita Diet, a show I watched at least the first season and a half, but I know I fell off. I never actually finished it.
I finished it. We watched all of it.
You watched the whole thing?
Yeah, we watched the whole thing through, yeah.
Did it get a conclusion before it was abruptly
Nope.
canceled?
I hate
I
that.
will not be watching more then.
It's tough. Yeah, I think maybe I finished the second season. I'd have to go back and properly check. Yeah, I remember when it came out. This was when I was optimistic that Netflix was going to put out good stuff with their name on it for original programming.
I mean, I think this is good stuff Netflix put out. This is, I will say this too, where I usually will bag on the digital gore, but I think it works so well in this for the type of show it is that you're not looking at a zombie movie where you're like, oh, look at all the fake, like The Dead Hate the Living or something where you're like, I can't stand it.
There is a very intentionally comedic, satirical vibe that goes along with some of the stuff that happens in this show. It's a very different vibe. Obviously we'll get into it in a little bit. Want to go over a couple things real quick, actually, before we get any further. IMDb 7.8, Rotten Tomatoes 89% critic, 94% audience. So a very well-received show by the critics and fans alike. And if you want to go ahead and watch Santa Clarita Diet, we said it was a Netflix original. It is available still on Netflix if you want to watch it. So go ahead and watch it there.
I think, as somebody who watched the whole thing, I think those numbers make sense. I do think, though, it is a bummer it didn't get a conclusion, and I wish when that happened that, the companies who run these shows, whatever, would be like, here's, $3 million, go film a one-off episode.
Right?
For your platform,
That sucks. They didn't get a finale?
No, it got canceled on a cliffhanger on season 3.
Yep, not
Wow.
watching more.
Yeah. Why would I want to watch more?
It kills you, right? But, you should still watch it, because it's still 30 episodes of...
No, fuck this show. Cancel. Done. Let's move on, boys.
But I just wish that was we should sign a petition of everybody who is fucking broken brain TV watchers being if you cancel a show on a cliffhanger, every network, every streamer, no matter what, you have to then go ahead and film one last episode to make it work. I don't care if it's a cartoon, do something, give us finality.
No, think about how many shows get canceled because of how terrible they are. You know what I mean? There should be some criteria.
Maybe there's going to be some sort of criteria, though. If you make
Yeah.
it to X season...
If you make it to 3 seasons, I think then you deserve a finale.
Yeah.
Hashtag save heels.
And then quick reminder, S1E1pod.com is where you can go to find all of our stuff. So if you want to find places where you can follow us, or our social medias, S1E1pod, Instagram, X, all that stuff, and you can reach out and talk to us on those things. We'd very much appreciate it. Buy a shirt if you so please. Right off the bat, we get the intro. We hear some music playing, and it's just like you just see like a table setting from like the a view looking down at it. Table, on the plate it says Santa Clarita Diet. Blood drops right in the middle of the plate.
Very reminiscent of the opening credits of American Psycho, where you think it's blood, but it turns out it's not.
Although here,
or Dexter,
here it is blood, or Dexter. Yeah,
very simple. We've talked about this before, especially with shows like this that already kind of on the run a little long. I understand why you're not going to do like the full intro, and I don't think a show like this needs it.
This doesn't need like, oh my god, my wife's a zombie. Like you don't need the song for this one, probably. Yeah, although Zombie with the Cranberries would have kind of been fun.
Yeah,
that wouldn't have totally fit.
That's why it would have been fun. It's a song about the IRA, and they put it in here.
It transitions. We get the exterior shots of like Santa Clarita. That's where the show takes place. Kind of Californian suburbs, and we see all these like nice houses. Eventually, we see kind of like the housing area where this show takes place, or where the family lives. Cut inside, we see the couple, Sheila and Joel, and they're played by Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant. It's like morning time. Joel's like wakes up a little bit before, kind of gives her like the big spoon snuggle up, kind of that little feel that kind of snuggle to see if she's interested in doing anything in the morning. At which she's not. She said she's not one of those like pound one out kinds of gals.
This is weird. I don't know. It's a hard topic to like approach without being like
crass.
I know when I get up with a boner, right?
Right. I mean, like, that doesn't exist anymore. There's a baby who sleeps in my bed. Like, that's not a situation I know exists in any way, shape, or form. But I also feel like this is one of those things that sort of goes away. I was gonna say that, but like as you get older, like they're good for him for pitching this at like 50, right? Because I feel like that goes away usually a lot quicker than 50.
I'll pitch it. It doesn't mean that it goes.
I guess if you take the Frank Thomas, right? We should look if they sponsor Frank Thomas. We've talked about this a lot. If you sponsor the show, we will all take it, and we'll see what the fuck crazy happens. Who goes to jail? who gets in trouble?
Buy our new shirt, Frank Thomas Boner Pills.
I don't think Frank Thomas makes the boner pills.
Oh, you don't? You don't think he's the one who makes them, Gordo?
No.
You don't think Frank Thomas is in a lab making pills? You fucking ding dong. No shit.
Frank Thomas sitting in the chair. I never get any credit.
He's got a lab coat.
Well, fuck you, Nick.
I mean, he would come murder us because he is a monster human jacked up on testosterone at 60 years old. Maybe we shouldn't poke this bear.
His name's the Big Hurt. Come on.
Yeah, well, that's his dick.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're talking a little bit in bed, and he's just kind of, he shoots a shot. Doesn't work out for him. Alarm goes off, and then we transition in there. Standing in the kitchen, kind of doing whatever, and he's trying to make some toast. She's talking about how Jennifer Lawrence chopped her hair off again and how everyone hates it, but she doesn't care, and she's very into those kinds of things. I mean, we're getting a feel for their lives at this point. It's just like they've been married for a while. Life's kind of mundane. It's nothing special goes on.
How do you guys feel about this kind of neighbor? Like, I know, like, we all grew up in the suburbs, but this is like a little bit, this is like the...
Oh, that's full suburbs. Like,
this is like alpha level suburbs. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like a very well manicured suburb. Yeah.
HOA suburb.
I don't know if I would like or hate living. Like, I think, aesthetically, yeah, it looks great. Like, it seems really nice, but I feel like it would get old really quick.
Every time that you go like, I don't want to mow the lawn today, you couldn't do that. That's the problem with living in a place like that,
Yeah, right, yeah.
It's like one of, Joe, I know you're not a big fan, but like, in like Christmas with the Cranks, and like there's like that like pressure in the neighborhood, like it was,
Yeah.
I wish my neighborhood had a Frosty thing. I would be so into that.
You could start it.
Get out of the fucking woods.
You've been to my house. I don't live anywhere near the woods. I live in a city. We walked from my house through a city street to a barbecue restaurant, and it took...
You from Maine? You in the woods.
I'm wearing my Thunder Moose shirt I got in Biddeford.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's a typical city shirt.
Yeah. Oh, Thunder Moose. What are they, from Harlem? Yeah.
Why couldn't they be from Harlem?
There's no moose in Harlem.
I don't know though, because probably not moose, but like, what is that part of New York right when you pass through the Bronx? It happens sometimes you're coming from Boston to New York and you're like in the woods all of a sudden, and then all of a sudden you're just in the Bronx. You're like, what the fuck just happened? Is that West?
Oh, you're talking about Connecticut.
No, you're still in New York State. But like New York State itself, it's like Pennsylvania, right? There's big cities and there's like big wooded areas, whatever. But there's one city that's at the edge of the Bronx when you first come into the city that you're like, you don't expect to hit the Bronx so hard because you're in like the fucking woods. It's like an expensive place to live. And then it's just all of a sudden you're like, oh, what happened?
Is that where you come out of that giant tunnel?
Maybe, yeah. There's like 3 ways to go in through New York from the south, and I've been to New York in a long time, but like a few times I've driven up that way and been like, where are we? Why? I don't feel like we're in New York.
Any New Yorkers out there, reach out, let us know what the hell Joe's talking about, because none of us.
Yeah, if you live in that town that's in the middle of the woods in New York, let us know.
Look, people from New York are going to be like, Joe is right. It's this, but it's probably more deer.
The two of them are talking. It's a very like odd conversation. He's talking about how upset he is by the toaster oven. She's saying how she thinks, she should be 20% bolder after thinking about what Jennifer Lawrence did with her hair. It's like, you know what? No, 80%. No, that's too much. It's just like one of these, like, they're at that age where it's like that, like, we're not quite there yet as we're all, hitting the 40 mark. Like they're, you just get to that point where like life's just very routine, like this is the exciting part of their day is her talking about what some celebrity did to her hair. And, this is already after passing up the little morning humping. So it's just, they're settled in. They're getting older.
Well, they're conversing, but they're each having a different conversation, basically with themselves, not with each other.
Right.
Yeah, that too.
I agree with him though. Like having too much slack on the button of the toaster, like
100% can relate.
That is 1,000% a thing everybody agrees. It's like, that's fucking bullshit.
What bugged me about this was that he's always just doing bread. If you're primarily toasting bread,
it's on toast mode.
No, you just get a vertical bread.
No, but even then, a toaster oven. When you use a toaster oven for toast, it's all the way to one side and it's toast mode. There's no give. You just put it on toast. After that, it's degrees.
No. Yeah, but what I'm saying is he just needs the smaller version. Just pop your.
That's what I have. I still have like an old top loader toaster.
Yeah. If you're doing bread, they're way easier. Way easier.
I have both, and it's so unnecessary.
Yeah, like I've always used a toaster oven. I've never had a toaster in my entire life. You always use
also
a
the
toaster
bagel
oven.
mode. Bagel mode is great for those.
That's what they call me. That was my nickname in high school.
Old bagel mode? I thought your nickname in high school was Old Onion Socks Gordon.
Yeah, Onion Sock Gordon was Gordon in high school.
Right at this point is when their daughter Abby walks in, and I just want to get this out there and in the clear really early. So Abby's played by Liv Houston. Liv, someone who prefers they them pronouns. When I'm talking about this episode, I'm talking about Abby, the character, who, if you hear me say she throughout the episode, remember I'm not talking about Liv. I'm talking about Abby. So I just want, just in case anyone gets mad at me, just let that be known. I'm aware of Liv's personal preferences in life. I'm talking about Abby, the character. So Abby walks in and immediately she's telling her parents how, well, she needs a car. He's like, she can't live here anymore without a car. They're in the middle of nowhere. And I will say, like, having been in California is one of those tougher states to live in without a car.
Yeah, we've talked about before, I didn't drive until my mid-30s because we lived in Boston and you didn't have to if you didn't want to, right? Like you could get anywhere at any time. California is not like that. You were stuck.
It really is something we take for granted.
Yeah.
Because it's just, first of all, I mean, like a lot of people do have the same privilege because so many people live in, urban areas, but there's also a ton of people who don't. And to like physically not be able to get somewhere if you don't have a car just like blows my mind.
And we were of the ultra lucky. We lived in the burbs, but still right near like the transit to get directly into the city.
I could get door to door from my house to my office job in downtown Boston in 25 minutes, like during rush hour, like no problem. Like that's unheard of.
And if you're like drunk at a bar or something, if you take an Uber home when like traffic's not bad,
Yeah.
8 minutes?
15 minutes,
Like
yeah.
through the tunnel,
Yeah.
you're home. It's wild, yeah.
They're talking about this. She's talking about she needs a car. They're like, you don't need a car. We're not buying you a car. She starts saying, like, well, you should buy mom a new car and then I'll just take her current car. Sheila's like, you know, I'd like a Range Rover. Like, yeah, you'd look great in that. You should get mom a Range Rover. Like, oh yeah. What's a Range Rover go for?
Like 80,000.
This is like an 80K car.
I don't think it's that much. It's probably like 50 or 60, but that's a fucking expensive car. Yeah, I guess the package you get.
They're overpriced, I'll tell you
Yeah.
that. Yeah, like there's ones that are out now for like 200 grand.
Yeah, but that's like luxury model.
I was gonna Google it, but I don't want the algorithm to think I want a Range Rover and just give me ads for them nonstop.
Every single day, yeah.
That happened to me with the Broncos because I really like those new Broncos that look like the 80s
I
Broncos.
do
the, like,
too,
sport
dude.
ones.
I do
They're
too.
fucking
Yeah.
amazing. So I look at YouTube or Instagram and YouTube all the time. They're constantly just like, no money down. You only owe money on it for fucking a 90 grand car. And you're like, I can't do that.
I saw a baby blue one today.
Yeah, I
with
seen
white
it.
pinstripes
Yes.
and whited out. I was like, damn.
Yep, I saw one recently too. It's like a seersucker suit and it's fucking beautiful. And I want that car. Yeah.
I didn't know I was the only one on the show who hasn't been pining for a new Bronco.
They're really fucking cool.
They're beautiful.
When they first came out, I was like, ew. But then I didn't realize they made all the different variants, and they got like the 2-door, like lifted ones that look so
The 2-door
cool.
80s one, yeah, they're so fucking cool. I watched a video right when they came out that was like, here are the top cars that if you smash them at 80 miles an hour, like how smashed you'll get. And that one like folded like a fucking paper, you know, but then every other car did the same thing too. And I was like, it doesn't matter if you're driving any car at 80 miles an hour and you
Yeah.
crash into a brick wall, you're fucking dead. So who cares? Get the Bronco and enjoy it.
Do you think it was like OJ died and they're like, now's our chance? Like, let's bring back the Bronco.
Honestly, it worked out timing wise.
Yeah, they waited like a year and they were like, Broncos aren't bad anymore, right?
Although I'll tell you this, you don't see any white ones.
Those things are usually in development. You develop those things for years before they actually come out. So
Yeah.
I don't want to say lucky timing because it feels weird when you talk about someone's death and you say lucky timing, but
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, OJ's death is one of those deaths that we can all be like, it's okay. Nobody's mad OJ's dead, right?
as a Naked Gun fan, I'm upset.
Look, as somebody who loves Nordberg and the Towering Inferno, I'm sad he's dead. However,
he had his tribute in the movie. Right at this point of them talking about the car, Sheila starts like grabbing her midsection. She's like, oh, like she's started getting like a really bad like stabby like pain. And they're like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, no, I'll be fine. It's like, I think mom's dying. She's like, I'm not dying. Probably just ate something. And she's like, I'm fine. See? She's like, okay, well, life's short. It's like, all right, well, you're still not getting a car. And then they head outside, like they're about to all, you know, do the head to work, head to school thing. And that's when we see the neighbors. And the neighbors are Dan and Lisa. Lisa, you would know, the waitress from Always Sunny.
Mm-hmm.
She only ever plays similar characters to this. As the waitress, she's a little more of a train wreck, but she's always this character.
She's always
I've
kind of
noticed.
like the unhinged, like wild, like I'm the fun mom type. Yeah.
not so much in the Grinder though. She's not like that in the Grinder, which we covered.
Yeah, that's true too.
I suppose there's exceptions to every rule.
Yeah, she's more like the regular like mom wife in the Grinder.
Yeah.
I just said that it feels weird saying that word. I keep saying it Grinder. I don't know why that sounds so weird. Grinder.
And like Dan is pretty insufferable. And
Yeah, he is.
I like when you have like, so he's like a cop. Well, he's not a cop, right? He's
The
what do you
sheriff.
say? Yeah. So he's sheriff's department. And then you have like the other neighbor on the other side, Rick, who's like just like regular like LAPD. And there's just like a like feud because like there's, you know, just different departments or whatever. And he's like, look at like Dickless over there. He's like, hey, morning, puss. Another day in pretend law enforcement.
I wonder if that's like a real thing. The like sheriffs like feud with police.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I know cops and firefighters usually hate each other.
I don't think they hate each other.
It's the same thing around here. Ask a regular like town cop how they feel about state troopers and
Oh,
vice
yeah.
versa. It's going to be the same thing.
Super Troopers was, you know, based on that premises. Yeah.
Yeah, like college cops don't get respect from anybody, right? There's like a weird hierarchy.
And they're probably dealing with the most bullshit out of anyone because drunk kids.
Yeah.
It's like
It's a nightmare job, yeah. I remember I knew by proxy by who I was dating at the time. We were in high school. Their brother-in-law, brother-in-law was like a college cop, and there was like a chase going on. He like inserted himself in our town and was like, "I got him," and I was like, "You can't fucking do that. You can't just pull your car over on the way to work as like a fucking college cop or a T cop or whatever and like pull over." So, but a nightmare to be like, I live between two cops. A double nightmare to be like, I live between two cops who fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
But Rick, you know what he is? The third. It keeps fucking happening. The third Mantis cast member that we've gotten. Yes.
Went 4 years and then in the matter of 2 months.
Deluge. Yeah, I fucking love it. So many Mantis characters.
Do you feel that it would be better to have two cops who don't like each other then, like over two that get along really well and being in the middle of it? I almost feel like it's better that they hate each other.
I think it's a damned if you do, damned if you.
Yeah, I don't think there's a win there.
No, maybe they'll compete for my love.
Yeah, that okay.
I just feel like they're both gonna beat me up. Just hit me in the head with a nightstick.
They're going back. He's like, be careful today chasing bad guys. He's like, all right, well, we protect and serve, not frame and maim. It's like, wow.
I mean, which is funny too, because like the LAPD historically not known as a friendly police force either. You know what I mean? Like coming out of like the riots and everything in the 90s.
So question, is he like the HOA guy in the town? Because he like mentions his light being on all night, and I wasn't sure what that was about.
I think he's just a prick neighbor.
Okay.
I think they were getting it, like, he brought that up, and it, like, that's like the cop in him, like the sheriff's department, like, investigative part of him was like, hey, what's going on here?
Okay.
And at that point, like, when he brought that up, even like Joel didn't know what was going on. Turned out that Sheila was just like, oh, I was up all night. I couldn't really sleep. He's like, oh, really? Like he was in the dark about all that stuff. So had Dan not noticed, Joel wouldn't have even known that she was up all night. And I like when Dan left, he like just peels off. He's just like, you know, like when you're like a kid and you think that looks cool. And like here he is, a grown man, like, I'm going to screech my wheels real loud as I drive away.
Well, both neighbors do it. One's on a motorcycle and one's in a muscle car.
I don't know which one's more annoying, but as a neighbor, I'd be annoyed at both of them very equally.
I would say the motorcycle's probably more annoying because it makes loud noises even when it's not like moving.
Loud pipes save lives, man. Yeah, the idle is loud, yeah.
And then after he leaves, like there's that quick moment where you see the kid in the window, Eric. Eric's like Dan and Lisa's son. And he's like looking over like presumably at Abby. And Lisa's talking to Abby and she's like, oh, like you're one of the main people in this spank bank right now. And I'm like, oh, that's what a fucking weird thing to say.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to say.
Hey, guess what? My son jerks off to you all the time.
I don't like anybody talking about sex for kids. It makes me immediately just like recoil. We're like, why are you having a conversation about that? I don't know how you handle that as a parent and talk about it like that. That seems crazy.
Oh, there's the waitress talking about jacking it.
Yeah. It's weird, and it's like it's his mom, and like, what's the goal of this? Like, are you trying to get your son laid? Like, I don't.
Yeah. You're
like,
doing
would
the
that have
opposite.
worked on her at that age? Like, ooh,
I'm flat. Oh, little old me over everybody. You have a whole world of porn, and you just like watching me get changed in my window.
that kid's another kid that's pretty tight cast too. He was Rusty's son in the new Vacation movie.
Yeah, he's always like the nervous.
I thought he was great in that new Vacation. I'd like to go on record. I think that remake of Vacation or like the extended sequel or whatever is actually pretty funny.
I like that movie. It just doesn't feel like a vacation movie. If you called it something else, I would have been fine.
But he's great in Righteous Gemstones.
He is.
And now Lisa's talking to Sheila, and she's like, hey, you know, a bunch of us girls are going out tonight if you want to come. Like, oh no, I can't. But it's like, oh, come on. Like, it's not like we're going to be out there like banging dudes. Well, at least that's what we're telling our husbands.
This is like, what is it, like the dancing bear or whatever those videos are? It's like, this is what girls really do when they go to a strip club.
I want so badly to pretend that I don't know what you're talking about.
Everybody knows, though.
I don't know what's real and what's not in terms of that. I know what actual gentlemen clubs are like for guys. But if that's what girls are doing, that's too much. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't think it's real.
No,
I don't
that's
think that
fake.
they would sign the fucking waivers, man.
I don't know. I've never been. I don't know.
Look, remember this. If you're filming it and you're putting it on and making money off of it, there was a waiver to be signed. And every one of those women would have to sign a waiver, and they are not doing that. Even the one who's like, I won't. I'm not going to. I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to. Okay. I'll do it. That's not, they're not doing that. And then signing a waiver. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, I don't think that happens.
So,
Can we get sponsored by Dancing Bear? I'd be so fucking happy. I would wear the bear outfit, the head, and do the episode naked. Whatever episode you want. Yeah, just head and naked.
now we cut to Joel driving up to a house, and you see as he drives up the for sale sign, and that's when you find out that him and Sheila are realtors together because their like picture is on the sign. And he stops in front of it and he pulls out some weed and he just like starts smoking in the car before he gets out. Then they cut back to Sheila, who's in like the office where presumably the realtor group is. And she's greeted by her boss, Carl, who's played by Andy Richter, and the new hire, Gary, Nathan Fillion. So quite a cast.
Yeah, they keep just throwing people out. I think we've seen Nathan Fillion before in what, Two Guys and a Girl, maybe?
Oh,
Sure.
I think he was on the show, but not that episode.
Maybe, yeah.
I think
he's
he becomes like a bigger character later.
done a ton of stuff. I don't know if you guys watch Big Mouth at all, but like one of the teenage girl characters has like a huge crush on Nathan Fillion.
They crush it, yeah.
It's really funny. Like the perfect actor to be like a weirdo teen would be like Nathan Fillion. It's like
because he had that show, what, Castle or something, Castle, right?
Got the Rookie too. That's a
the
big
Rookie.
one.
Yeah, he's also in like Saving Private Ryan. Like he's done a million things.
And Firefly.
Carl's introducing Gary to Sheila and saying like, "Hey, this is Gary. He was rocking it in Sacramento, and now he's ours." And they introduce each other, introduce themselves to one another. He's telling Gary, Sheila works with her husband. She's the pretty one. And then mentioning, "Hey, you guys going to sell the Peterson house today?" Like, we're going to try, Carl. And then I like this because I don't expect this from Andy Richter. Because he like turns like pretty aggressive on her. He's like, "None of this try bullshit. Do it."
Have you ever like watched all of Arrested Development?
Not like in full no.
Okay, because Andy Richter plays a character similar to this in Arrested Development, and that was the first time I saw him do that because that would have been 20 years ago now or whatever. And
I'm rusty now because I watched.
Well, he plays like 8 characters.
Because he has twin brothers, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he is like 8, a bunch of them. I don't know how many.
They're like
I can't remember.
octuplets or whatever, yeah.
I watched all the original run, and then when it went to Netflix, I saw a little, but I didn't really. I saw like a few episodes.
You quit at the right point.
Yeah,
You did, yeah.
Honestly, I don't like when it got brought back.
I just think too much time passed, and it was like, they were trying too hard to be themselves at that point. But that's a whole story for another day.
Yeah.
Is this the norm in that office? Like, does he normally like act normal and then snap? Because she seems a little confused by it. Like,
maybe he's being tough because it's the new guy and he wants to be like,
that's what I figured.
Yeah, you're here now and like it's fun, but like you have to fucking move properties, right? Because everybody, if you don't sell houses, you have no income coming in, right? That's like the most commission-based business there is, right? Is like selling a house, right? If you don't sell anything, you get nothing. There's no money coming to anybody.
We move forward a little bit. We see her in the house with Joel, and this is them attempting to sell to a couple. I was curious, who's the third woman who's like with them? So like they're trying to sell the house together as a couple. Then you have the couple who's looking to buy the house, and then like the one who like looks like she's showing the house to them.
so she's representing the couple.
Yeah, she's their real estate agent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they work together. They'll split the commish when that happens, right? She's like a broker for...
Got it.
Like she'll travel with them to multiple houses where they're at this house for the sell.
They have like the rights to sell the house, right? Okay.
Yeah, and then they'll work together. Like those two will work together on the price and the offer and everything and negotiation. The kind of stuff that people with more money than any of us ever have will do. As people are go, "I'd like to buy your house, please. Here are my meager savings." And people go, maybe. And then you just figure it out from there.
They're going through and they're doing the sales pitch and they're showing the master bedroom and how it's been completely remodeled, talking about like how beautiful the carpet is and everything. And as the pitch is going on, Sheila starts like, oh, and like her stomach starts going, and just mid-sentence is projectile vomits, like just projectile, like a lot.
Exorcism
like
level green vomit, yeah.
Timothy Olyphant's reaction, though, was priceless.
He's so funny in this scene, yeah.
So good, yeah.
And the thing, too, is like, obviously you watch a show like this, odds are you probably know what the premise is going in. But if you didn't and you just kind of popped it
Yeah.
on and was watching, taking it for what it's worth, this show up until this point doesn't show any signs of it having any type of paranormal, anything, undead, like.
Right. She's just like, my tummy hurts. That's all you know. That's weird. Yeah.
And then you just see her throw up just buckets out of nowhere. And that's the first time you go, whoa, okay.
It's tough too, because like people don't throw up often. You know what I mean? Like if you could think the last time you threw up.
It's funny, actually. I got sick, like I got food poisoning like almost a year ago now. And it was like, well, first of all, every other time I thought I had food poisoning was not food poisoning at all. It wasn't even close. This was like legitimate food poisoning. But yeah, that was like the first thing that was like indicative that something was wrong. It was like, I just threw up in the middle of the day for no reason. Something's wrong, because you don't do it. It just never happens. I never puke.
I don't want to make the conversation too gross. It's not the funnest topic,
I had
but
jellied pork. That was my own fault.
That's your fault.
It
I'm going
should
to go on the record and say that was your own fucking fault, bud. Yeah.
a few years ago was like the only time in like my memory that I got food poisoning, that I know for sure I got food poisoning. Lobster roll got me, and it was like I felt so betrayed. The place in town, you guys all know it, and it tasted fine in the moment. Like nothing seemed off to me. So, but you know what, lobster rolls, I mean, either the mayonnaise was out too long or they cooked the lobster dead, and I just felt like terrible immediately after. And it was like the next day, and I went to work, and I mean, no joke, other than from drinking, I had not thrown up since I was like single digit age. Like I went like nearly 30 years without throwing up for food related things. And I made it to work, and
I was going to say, like, when you're younger, especially too, and you're like over drinking, you don't know how to drink really yet or whatever, like how often you throw up. And like how often you throw up and be like, I feel better now. I can fit more in. Like I made room. It's like a crazy bananas thing to think.
Your body is legit trying to repair itself and save you from death, and you're fighting it and going, no, I could do more now.
I remember once, Nick, we were at a party at your house and we were like peeing behind your shed because we were nightmare animals. And I just like turned and threw up like 8 beers fully. Like there's just the beer. And I was like, I felt so fucking good. And I was like, I can keep drinking now. I'm not drunk anymore. Like the idea of thinking that now is like, just go to bed. Just fucking go to bed. What are you doing?
After this, they're like, maybe we should end this. It's like, no. We're going to send the cleaners. We're going to clean this rug right up. Why don't you guys keep going? Like, I'm just going to run to the bathroom real quick, and Joel will take over. And they're a little apprehensive about it. And then you see them like go from room to room. And like in the next couple rooms, he's trying to continue on, and you just hear her from the other master bedroom the whole time, just nonstop. Like,
I don't know if this got a sound design Emmy, but it should have got a sound design Emmy. It is very funny.
It was good, yeah.
I thought it was real funny.
Yeah.
And it just got to the point where one of them just goes, I want to leave. and they finally they have to head out. It's like enough was enough.
Also, that's not like a rent a carpet shampooer scenario. That's a like, we're
no.
cutting this
New
rug
rugs.
out and getting new rugs, and we're steaming
And they
the floor.
just talked about that rug earlier too. It's like, every blade faces the same direction, and they were so proud of it.
Yeah.
We've had this conversation before too, though, but like having a rug in the house is actually a deterrent for me versus a selling point.
No.
It's like the whole house is carpeted. Like, I don't want that.
Hey, you gonna ruin the Ed rug too, Joe?
I have ruined Jay's rug previously with, that's another liquor throwing up story. As Ferg mentioned a couple weeks ago, one current alcoholic, you fucking asshole.
After they all leave, Joel goes to check in on his wife, and he opens up the bathroom door, and like, it's a lot. There's just puke everywhere.
Yeah. It was like somebody turned a puke sprinkler on.
Yeah.
It's like a death scene. Yeah, it's fucking bananas.
And it's like, so like before you even see her, you're like, like this isn't good. And eventually you cut and you see her just like laying up against the counter, but basically on the floor. And he like runs up and he's like, oh my God, Sheila, you okay, Sheila? And then he goes to feel for a pulse and he feels nothing. He's like, oh God, no, Sheila, no. But then like, here's my biggest critique of this whole episode. His sad face fucking sucks.
No, he's smiling.
He's smiling. It's the goofiest. Like they must have been like laughing through the scene too much. And like, this is the best we're gonna get it.
Just no one's gonna pay attention. Yeah,
he doesn't look remotely sad. He thinks his wife's dead, and he's like ear to ear grinning as he's holding her, going, no, Sheila.
It made me question, did he poison her and kill to kill her? Because he's smiling. I don't think anyone's first reaction would be to check for a pulse. You would think she's passed out from being sick. And maybe you'd go there eventually, but I don't think that would be the first thing you do like he does. I'm like, did he kill her?
And then you see him smiling. Yeah, so it's all very like a head scratcher.
I think the smiling, though, can be explained because he's smoking the reefer beforehand.
There's a line. I mean, you can be hot. If you think your wife's dead and you get the giggles.
Weed does weird things to you.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make you smile if somebody's dead.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Depends on who's dead.
I've actually been high before, yeah, so I do kind of know that.
Yeah, I do know.
Would anybody else here, though, feel confident enough to hold someone's pulse and be like, there's no pulse? Because I fucking wouldn't. I'd be like, I don't think I feel something. I was just doing it, and I'm like, I can't feel my pulse.
I guess there's a point, though, where he walked in after what already happened in the bedroom, walked into the kitchen, or the bathroom, rather, and saw enough puke that, like, a human body shouldn't be able to hold this much puke. So, like, there's something wrong here. I mean, so maybe with that in mind, how extreme it was and her being passed out and didn't see her breathing or whatever it was, like, something, like, triggered it. But I think it was extreme enough that you could give him a little bit of a pass.
I give him a pass with that. It's a lot of puke. But what I don't give him a pass for is, why would you drive her to the emergency room and not call 911?
Yeah, I'd call an ambulance immediately.
Yeah, that's...
Because she woke up and was fine.
No. You do not get your pukey pants in my car. No.
Hold
That's
on.
your issue, really? Your wife is covered in puke and you won't put her in your car?
Ew, my car's dirty.
I know your wife can hear us right now. Gordo, say that out loud again. Repeat it.
I did.
Honey, don't puke on the pile of doodle shit in the corner. Like,
My dog doesn't shit in the house, first of all. Second of all, if my
Does she shit in the car?
wife-
in the car.
No, she doesn't, actually. She's a very good doodle.
Hey, he saves the car for the dead rats.
Yeah. Hold on. No, Gordo, in fairness. Like,
No.
jokes aside,
If
you
my
gotta
wife
remember,
puked that much, she's going in an ambulance because something is clearly wrong with her.
but if something is wrong, they go to the doctor. Remember this. He's holding her, to backtrack a second. She opens her eyes and she goes, did we get an offer? He goes, what the fuck? And then
Yeah.
she's like, wow, I threw up a lot. And then points out, and this thing came out of me. It looked like a plum almost. Like, was this an organ?
It's supposed to be an organ, but they didn't do a good job with it.
They do a lot of there's a lot of things that could get explained that they don't really explain in this show, and I think it's intentional, but regardless. But Gordo, to get back into that, she's going, I feel okay. She's like, that was a lot of puke, huh? You have to remember this. Ambulances are fucking expensive. Like, keep that in mind. So if she's like, I feel okay, I don't even want to go to a doctor, him driving her to the doctor's, saving like $1,000.
Well, unlike them, I have good health insurance. So, tough shit.
Doesn't
She
cover
going
ambulance.
in the ambulance.
Ambulances are still like $500, even if you have health insurance. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
America.
But yeah, so keep that. And again, she feels okay. If she was laying and didn't wake up, it was non-responsive, I don't think he was going to like pick her up and throw her in the back seat and drive her like that. That's a different situation.
I'd actually agree with you if the first thing he did seeing her on the ground was he dialed 911 and then she woke up and he like threw the phone like, ah, like
That would be my first thing, is be like, oh, what the fuck? 911.
my wife is a puke fountain.
No human should puke like that.
And then, yeah, you're seeing when they get to the emergency room, because they cut right from there, and she's still fighting like that. She didn't even want to go. So it's not like she was so bad that I think an ambulance is really needed. And he's still insisting, like, well, you're getting looked at. We're already here. She's like, we've been here for 3 hours. Like, I just want to go home. She's like, she says, I want to get out of these clothes and take a bath. I feel like a bus station shit in my mouth.
It's a great fucking line.
Yeah,
And his like reaction to that's like, what the fuck did she just say? So he gets up and he heads over to that like nurse pod area, and he's like, excuse me. And the woman sitting there is like, do not ask me again how long it's going to be. This isn't a deli counter. The most threatening life conditions have priority. Your wife threw up. He goes, a lot. Your wife threw up. A lot. She's like, we're not doing this.
As somebody who's had to go to the emergency room in the past few months, you get brought in, you wait, and then you think you've won the fucking lottery. They're like, okay, go back there. And you're like, oh, awesome. And then they just sit you back there. And then you're just there for like 3 hours until somebody has to either like hurt you or tell you to go home.
And I'm assuming in this case, they just gave up, right? Like they just drove.
Yeah, they just went home.
That's the next thing we see. Yeah.
Can I just say that if I was making this show, this is where I would have ended the episode. I would have had the entire first episode be about their normal suburban lives, and then had her die at the end, and then wake up, and then cue credits. I think this show rushes through a lot, way too much, and it kind of threw me off. Like, it moves at high speeds.
If you have Timothy then going, but what was that thing that you threw up? Then it cuts to the credits. I think that would have worked, right? Because it gives you like the let's watch next episode.
It would have to be a careful balance because then you run the risk of it being a little too dull, you know, because you're just showing how mundane their lives are for a half hour. But there's a lot of funny characters in between. So, I mean, you'd have to, if the writing was done well.
On a streamer, though, because like then when it goes to black, it's 3, 2, 1 next episode now. Like, because we're at that way of how streamers work for those shows, I think it works because then you're just like, you're going to watch the same amount. You could have made this 15 episodes and made them shorter, I guess, and had it that way.
You could have sold her being sick for longer instead of just the one side pain at the beginning and then throwing up. There's just a lot more they could have done. You could have showed a whole day of their life being successful.
As someone who's seen this show before, I will say the second episode really pushes a lot of craziness into it. So I think that maybe they were trying to fit the mundane into the first so that you'd jump into the crazy on the second.
Well, no, but you can make something like that work because the suburbs are fucking weird. I'm sorry. I know we grew up in them, but like, take like the show Weeds. That's all in the suburbs. Every person is fucked up.
So one thing I kind of struggle with, because we're getting another taste of it here, is her personality changes ever with this change that she's going through. But like, I can't quite nail what they're going for with her. You know what I mean? It's like it's like kind of free spirit, but it's not free spirit. I don't.
Yeah, you know why it's confusing? It's because she's just being Drew Barrymore. Like that's her.
Well, she's going by scripted like lines here, though.
No, I know, but it's like all right, I love Drew Barrymore. Like, I think she's great, but not a ton of range. And I feel like this is one of those where a range would have benefited it because there would have been the difference, you know, and we didn't get to see the difference.
The examples we're getting, like, first she's talking about the bus station shitting in her mouth, and you could tell by Joel's reaction, like, she doesn't usually talk like that. Okay, that's different. She's talking a little more crass than usual. Now they're pulling up at home, and he's like, all right, we're going to call the doctor. We're going to get you some soup. And she just looks at him and goes, I'm okay with you smoking pot. He's like, huh? Like, I know I complain about it, but I just want you to be the Joel that you want to be. Like, oh, that's nice. So that's also out of character. So before she was not okay with him smoking pot. Now she's okay with him smoking pot. So I don't know that. All right. So now you're like, you're a little more chill with that stuff. You're a little more crass with your dialogue. In a minute, we find out that she's horny.
Again, though, show don't tell. You don't know until that line that she had a problem with him smoking pot because they didn't show anything. Like,
no, I think they showed enough though that he was doing it hiding.
He did it in the car. I didn't get a vibe that he was hiding.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know. I kind of got the vibe that maybe he was like keeping it out of the house, right? He didn't like walk in the backyard because they show him later on walk in the backyard and smash the.
But that could
toaster.
be the daughter too. Like, doesn't want to do it in front of the kid. So
yeah.
But he's also going into work. It's like, I don't want to buy a house from a guy who's fucking high. Like, I thought it was like a business thing that's why he was smoking in the car, not just out in the open.
I mean, I can see that too. But I guess too, when you're like about to buy a house, you're like, you don't care about the guy as much because you're like, this is just a person who's showing me the house I want. I mean, they kind of have very little, they're just a negotiator. You know what I mean? Like, that's a weird thing about buying a house where it's like, this is just a person who's been contracted to be the middle person between me and the person selling this house. So I don't care if they're high as long as everyone's happy with the amount, I guess, you know?
And then as they're getting, you know, they're pulling up and they're getting out of the car, Gary, the new guy at work, pulls up. Like, Gary, and introduces him to Joel. He goes, hey, how you feeling? Like, I heard about your afternoon. He's like, oh, a lot better. And I made sure the cleaning crew took care of everything. And here, and I got these for you, and like got her like some flowers. It's like, oh, that's so sweet of you. They're like, oh, we'd invite you in, but he's like, oh, no, it's fine. He's like, but Joel, if I could just talk to you for a second. And then Sheila excused herself. She's like, I'm gonna go ahead and get cleaned up. Now that the two guys are alone, Gary looks at Joel and goes, that was a crazy amount of vomit. Like, well, I'm not a medical expert, so I don't know what the proper amount is. He's like, dude, it was a huge amount. Are you a doctor, Gary? No, he's like, neither am I. And it's weird because like this little part of the conversation here is such a different dynamic than everything else we get from them like kind of later. It kind of flips at the end of this, which I guess we're probably a little bit by design, because Gary starts like with this kind of fake, like, I'm concerned and hey, I'm your bro. And then it kind of turns into, hey, listen, by the way, I'm taking over that listing. And it's like, you stole our listing. It's like, no, you were fired from the people that were looking at it before, and now they've hired me. So I didn't steal anything from you.
They do a great job because at this point you're like, fuck you, Nathan Fillion. And by the end of the episode, you're like, fuck you, Nathan Fillion. You're so fucking mad at this dude. Yeah.
I will never say that about Nathan.
When he first does this little turn here, I'm like, it's kind of dickish, but like otherwise, like kind of okay. You know what I mean? This is the first inkling we're getting from it. What he is to what he turns into, you go, whoa, because he gets like, he like his villain meter goes up 1,000% after this. This was the first taste of it.
I've worked with a lot of salespeople in my life, and there are salespeople like this, and there are salespeople who aren't like this. And you know right away, this is the kind of person who swoops in and takes any advantage and will cut the throat of somebody to get that commission. You're like, that's just like a weird, it's a type of person, right? Not everyone has that. I don't know if it's good or bad. But
he's trying to take out the top dog in the yard. So he's trying to steal his listing and then fuck his wife, you know?
Sure, but also it's commission, right? He's like, what does a house in Santa Clarita cost? Probably $1 million. If you're getting 10%, it's $100,000. Like, you will cut people's throats for $100,000. That's a lot of fucking money.
Oh, even in Boston, like I've thought about doing that here. You get mega money doing that.
I mean, you sell a few.
That's what I'm saying. You have to sell a few and you're set.
You can be done and out of there, yeah. But I don't know the process. I know it's like a school. You have to be registered and like go to school.
Yeah.
For it, right?
There's a whole process.
I'm sure we've got many real estate sales people who listen, right? I'd love to hear more about their coworkers. And
I would just love to draw in photos of Gordo spread across park benches.
Just all those people shitting on his face.
Hey, you remember my face.
I mean, that's the thing, right? That said, as somebody who's bought a house in the past 5 years, I don't remember what anybody in that process looks like at all. I wouldn't be like, I should call that person again. That whole thing is a blur of paperwork and signing your name. I don't think wouldn't be like, I have to find that person again. I don't remember.
We cut inside. Joel has a tray of food that he's bringing into Sheila, who's just been like laying in bed ever since she got home after she cleaned up. And he's like, oh, everything's been good. Gary just needs some advice. I helped him out. And she goes, hey, I can't feel my heartbeat. Huh? And he like leans over and like puts his like ear to her chest, which is that the most effective way to do that? Like I would have still did the hand over the chest, but
I don't know, I feel like hearing the like the dun 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 would be easier than the hand.
Really think about it. Can you feel your own heartbeat right now?
That's what I said. I tried doing it. Like we were doing it for like half an hour. I was like, I can't feel my heartbeat at all.
I've always been very hyper aware of my heartbeat. It's weird.
Yeah. Give me 10 steps. I'll be.
No, but just sitting here casually, can you feel your heartbeat? Just like, not even.
No.
Yeah,
you can feel it right now?
Yeah.
I can. Yeah,
I can't.
If I'm thinking about it, like it's not distracting me, but if I'm thinking, like, yes, I can feel it beating in my chest.
I can't at all. No.
Oh, maybe we're zombies show.
Oh fuck, we're fucked. Nathan Fillion, take me away.
Quick, go down on me.
Well, yeah. So his head's on her chest, and like while he's trying to listen, she's like playing with his hair. And she's like, oh, like, I love playing with your hair or whatever. And then kind of starts thinking and just starts pushing his head down. He accepts the invitation and performs cunnilingus.
I don't know why, but you saying the word cunnilingus is so gross.
Yeah, it made me very uncomfortable.
You said that, I shivered for some reason. I was like, oh God, I don't like that.
So and you just see her like, the camera doesn't move with him for obvious reasons. So you just kind of have her face and she's like looking down. It's like, yep, there you go. Bingo. Obviously we know like where the story ends with her and stuff. And none of that wouldn't be like cold or something. Like,
I wondered the same thing because she should be cold.
Well, she just came out of a hot shower though. So there could be residual warmth.
I thought he was going to pop up and be like, it's cold down there. Yeah. Like something was going to happen.
It's like 2 pieces of deli meat.
What are the established zombie rules in this universe? Like, we don't know yet. Gross.
I just need to ask because I need to know if he gets it right. What kind of deli meat?
Roast beef.
Okay, all right. Thought you were gonna be like turkey.
I love your
Honey
I
ham.
love your
What are you
Gordo
talking
voice.
about?
Joe had to go to ham.
Olive loaf.
Why
That's
is
a
that
bread.
gross?
That's a bread.
Olive loaf is not bread.
Olive loaf is not a bread.
Oh, is that the weird ham with like the olives in it?
What?
It's yes.
Okay.
That's bread.
That's how I get killed from the zombie. The vagina turns into bread, and I'm like, no! I pop up and die.
You just violently shit yourself to death.
Yes. That's how I turn into a zombie. Look, it came out of my butt, baby. It's like a peach pit.
So now we cut to Joel, and he's in like, I thought at this point it was like a medical supply store, but he returns, so we know otherwise. With hindsight,
It's supposed to be a Rite Aid, which is insane because Rite Aid doesn't have a section of multiple.
Stethoscope.
yeah. If they had any, they'd have like one. Yeah. Girl walks up to him that works there. Can I help you? What? He's like, my manager noticed that you've been standing at the stethoscopes for like a really long time. He's like, oh, well, there's something wrong with my wife. She's like, oh, I'm 20. So, right.
We will see her in a couple weeks, by the way.
Oh. Joel asks her, do you know the difference between the dual-headed stethoscope and the single-headed one? Like, well, dual would be 2. Just, right.
What would you possibly need a dual-headed stethoscope for?
2 doctors.
I mean, that's why he's asking, though. He's not sure.
So it's a valid question. They play it off like he's an idiot, but I don't know what you would need that
I mean,
for.
is it 2? But this is the thing. Is it 2 ears or is it 2?
I thought it was this piece, the part that you put on the chest, like listens on both sides.
Well, then you could put one on the chest and then one on the
I was
lung.
going to say, like, usually when you get your checkup, they put one on your back, too. I imagine that's to do both at the same time.
I think it's the amount of tubes leading from the thumper piece to the earpiece.
That also makes sense. I don't know who to believe.
Yeah. If you're a doctor listening to this, please let us
As
know.
I'm sure many of our listeners are.
Also, if you get the Thumper one, it sounds like this. Does Thumper die in Bambi? No, Thumper lives, right?
No, Thumper don't die.
Yeah, Thumper does.
Thumper
Only
does.
Bambi's
Thumper don't
parents
die.
Thumper don't die.
Thumper don't die.
Thumper don't have time to bleed.
I love Predator. One of the crew in Predator is Thumper. Just smoking a cigar, just ready to kill a fucking alien.
Next scene, we see Joel. He's back home. He's trying to use this thing on his wife now. And he's like, it's so weird. He's like, I can't hear your heart. And she's like sitting like off the side of the bed while he's doing it. And then she's like looking at him, try to like, listen to her heartbeat, and grabs like the bottom of the stethoscope to like move his head down. He's like, hey, like my jaw still kind of hurts from earlier. And she goes, then stop talking. And like shoves his head down again. I guess he's not a guy that needs a lot of convincing, huh?
Yeah, I guess not.
Bit of a pushover.
Yeah, it's not a pushover scenario, though. If your like significant other is like, huh? I don't feel like that's much of a pushover thing. He's just like, we're going to do this thing, right? Especially because we know he's horny in the morning,
He
right?
is a pushover, though, and other things come up later in the episode to make me come to that conclusion.
No, he's definitely a pushover later, for sure. That scene is not, and we'll talk about it because,
The bar scene, right?
yeah, that does not make me happy. Because I'm like, he would murder fucking so hard Nathan Fillion, but we'll get there.
Once he's done having lunch, they cut forward a little bit and you see them in the room with Abby now.
Once he has his olive loaf.
And Abby's, they got Abby trying to listen now, trying to hear her mom's heartbeat. She doesn't hear anything either. And now Sheila's like, okay, guys, so there's another thing, but please don't freak out. And I just want to remind you guys, I feel fine. She grabs a pair of scissors and she just like gets like her arm and like just like cuts it like deep and no blood. And she's like, okay, now keep watching. And again, please don't freak out. And she starts like squeezing at like this like new deep cut and like this like almost like black gelatinous stuff is starting to come out.
It's coagulated blood.
Oh, is that what that's supposed to be? Just coagulated
Yeah,
blood?
it's just like
Yeah.
I didn't think that either. That's smart. Yeah, good job, Ferg.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, ew, it's thick. I didn't think of anything anatomical at all, or anatomical.
So now they're freaking out a little bit. Both of them pass out. You get the cut to like a little further along, and you just see the two of them both standing next to each other like a little woozy drinking orange juice.
There is nothing grosser in this episode, like the throwing up, the whatever, the eating people. Drew just eating raw red beef out of the package, like turned my stomach so fucking hard.
Did anybody else's grandmother do that?
Yeah.
My grandmother would taste like if she was making meatballs or something, like she'd get the whole mixture together and then she'd taste it that way. And I was always like, what the hell does this prove? Like, you need to cook it. What's the point
I
of
pride
it?
myself on my meatballs, but no.
That's how you get sick.
I mean, she also lived to 98, so maybe it was...
And how do the rest of you guys feel about Joe's meatballs?
He is well renowned for them.
Look, my meatballs are phenomenal. I think you've all had them, right?
Yeah, they are good.
It's the one thing I can make very well.
When would we have all had meatballs you made? When did you invite us over for a meatball party?
You've had them at WrestleManias. You've had them at Christmas parties.
I've been over to Joe's house before and had spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah.
You never just had a random spaghetti party at Joe's house?
I'm upset that I was not a part of the spaghetti and meatballs party.
I only got invited to his lemon party. I didn't get invited to his spaghetti party.
Well, you're invited to this year's lemon party too, and there will be meatballs.
I was taught that same way. Like, if I make meatballs, like, I'm going to take a pinch of the meat and try it before I cook it.
That's also different from her fucking eating.
Right. The way I was taught was once it no longer sticks to you. It's like you're making a meatball, right? You're putting in cheese, you're putting in breadcrumbs, right? Like you're making a meatball, you're making the whole big ball of meat.
Yeah, but when it comes to like the seasoning aspect of it, like, does it need more garlic? Does it need more pepper? Does it need more oregano? What have you? Like, that's gonna be a taste thing.
But you can only do that with beef if you have any pork mixture in there or anything like
I don't
that, or
put
any
pork in
other
my
exotic
meatballs.
meat.
I don't
Can't really
either.
eat raw pig.
Good in the gravy, but not mixed into the balls for me.
Why, that was funny. Mixed into the balls.
I said it and was like, that sounds weirdly crass, yeah.
Yeah, no, all beef balls going in my gravy.
Sauce.
Gravy.
Anyways,
You can pinch it off and cook a little bit of the meat.
Yeah, honestly, in this aspect, Gordo's,
I'm with Gordo
Gordo's
here, yeah.
does make more sense.
Gordo knows cooking. I know.
I was taught from a chef. That's how we did it.
I mean, I have a terrible tummy, so there's no way you're ever going to be like, try the raw meat. Like, I can never do that, but I think Gordo's method is sound rather. You just cook a little bit and try it.
Yeah.
well, listen to our cooking episode. We'll all go over gravy recipes. So they see her eating the meat, and they're like, we really should go to the emergency room. She's like, no, like, I know things seem weird, but I feel really good, and I have all this energy and focus.
Actually, I think you guys are definitely right that they didn't wait along for her to get checked, because a doctor definitely would have noticed she doesn't have a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, we're in Halloween season now, right? Like, think of that scene in Return of the Living Dead where the two paramedics are like, they don't have a pulse? We don't know what this means, but like those two ambulance guys immediately are like, this is fucking weird, man. Like, anybody who's a trained medical professional is going to be like, this is fucked up. Something's wrong.
Well, her worries are sound. She's like, if they check me, like, I feel fine, but obviously something's not right. She's acknowledging that. She's like, and if that's going to happen, they're going to do all these things to me, and I'm not going to get to go home, and that would be really bad for you because we're having spectacular sex right now. And the daughter is like, ew. But no, like, she's self-aware of the situation. She's not like, she feels fine, but she acknowledges that something's wrong. Like, this isn't normal.
The way that she made it sound, because she was like, then they're going to put me in a tube, and then they're going to poke me and all this other stuff. It almost made me think that she was being possessed by something.
No, I just feel like she was just aware of like what her future would be like, that she is clearly dealing with something that is far against the norm, and she's going to turn into a science experiment.
Yeah, she's clearly dead, but she's functional, so they would chop her up and try to figure out how this happened.
But not even that. Like, if they're going to give her like an ultrasound. What's the thing where you go in the fucking terror tube?
An MRI.
Oh, yeah.
When I had to get surgery, I was like, what if I just walked it off? They were like, no. It was like the idea of going to the MRI. I was like, I could never do it. You'd have to like sedate me so hard.
Why?
Takes 2
It's just a
seconds.
tube.
Because it's scary as shit. It's loud and you're stuck in there and you're in there for like an hour. Like, I couldn't do it. I'd be
you not?
I'm claustrophobic.
You're just afraid that the magnet's going to pull out your nipple rings. Come on.
I've had that happen plenty of times.
A machine pulled your nipple rings out?
You keep getting bigger and bigger gauges because the holes are larger and larger.
No, if you're like, I get it. Like, especially if you are even like remotely claustrophobic or anything too, like that.
Which I am, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried that you have to sit in there. You can't move. You can't do anything for I think it's like a half hour.
Yeah, that's the problem. The
No.
stillness of
And then
it.
I'm just sitting there alone with my thoughts. I get some fucking sick thoughts.
If we've discovered anything, it's that Ferg cannot be alone with his thoughts.
Ferg, it takes 30
What darkness
seconds.
lies inside of Ferg?
Gordo,
you know?
it does not. Have you actually had an MRI? Because it does not take 30 seconds.
No, they're known to take long. You're not allowed to move because it's taking a full
You
scan.
can't move like even a quarter of an inch.
I've had it done on my head multiple times.
You can't move for at least 15 minutes. Like it's at least 15 to 20 minutes.
They
I
go
believe.
on brain size.
Can't move at all.
An MRI typically takes 15 to 30 minutes. Complex ones 45 to 90.
Nope.
30 seconds, guys. Skibbity.
Yeah.
In
They
and out.
fucking in, out, boom.
Then you didn't get an MRI.
Yes,
they
I
don't
did.
take 15
This
seconds.
is like when Gordo tried to explain to us what a physical was. And we're like, did they touch your balls? No, that you didn't get a physical.
Yeah, we need to. Gordo, can you point out your doctor's office on a map, please? Because it's definitely just some abandoned shiesty building.
Guys, I had an MRI, got a physical, in and out 10 seconds. No problems.
They fixed my cell phone. They made me lie.
Crazy Leroy Healthcare. Come on down.
Can we call them live and be like,
It's just
hey, Boston Medical Center. Hey, just wondering, I need to schedule an MRI. Do you guys still have the expedite ones where I only need to be in here for about a minute? You go, what the fuck are you talking about?
Dr. Nick Riviera takes Gordo's case every time. Graduate of Hollywood Upstairs Medical School.
It did not take me 15 minutes. You guys are exaggerating.
I just read it to you on the internet.
Yeah.
You read the Google AI overview.
That's all you do, by the way. And 15 minutes is the low end. And I've had MRIs also, and that is the low end of them.
what was the purpose of your MRI, Gordo?
I've had multiple. The first purpose was because when I had my ear surgery, they had to go in and that was the only way that they could see in the inner ear canal. Another time, my sinuses got stuck.
Well,
ear
they
canal.
stuck to your dog's butthole.
What?
I don't think they gave you an MRI for those. I think they gave you something else.
Just ignoring the immature thing that Jay said. I've had real serious issues.
I think the issue is you're confusing MRIs for x-rays.
It wasn't an x-ray. No, it wasn't. I put in the weird metal tube that went and then it rotates all around. And then you go.
Was that a theme park?
It was on the Gravitron.
Good for you guys for not going dildo. Gordo's like the weird metal tube that goes. My immediate thought was something totally different. You get MRI, your butthole feels sore and open.
I was just getting my ear.
Well, apparently that's how your physicals feel.
I can't wait for like episode 300 where it's just one of us left being like, everyone else died. We had no idea about medicine. We didn't do the right thing. Nobody was right, and everybody died but one. Last man standing. They just do like the sad like last episode of Marin where we're like, oh, I guess it's just the end now. All right.
Well, they're trying to convince her to see a doctor again. She doesn't want to do it. And it's like, well, Abby's like, I know someone who could look at you instead. Like, who? A creeper. What's a creeper? You know, the kind of nerd who specializes in disturbing, weird, or gruesome shit. And then it cuts to that kid Eric's room, the fine young gentleman who jerks off to Abby next door.
This is a great cut, though, from like a TV. We're talking about television shows again for not bodily functions for a moment. I love the cut to them explaining him and then cutting to his face. That's a really fun edit.
Yeah.
And like, he's, not fazed by this. So I guess it's the right person to go to. And he must have interest in this kind of thing. And he's going over, all right, no response here. Do you have any deteriorating flesh? No. Black in the skin. Like, he's going over all these different symptoms that, he believes she would have.
I also love, too, like, this isn't, like, said out loud, but, like, if you're paying attention, that, like, the insanity that they're in right now, that they will go to a 17-year-old, be like, can you help us diagnose this problem? Like, I love that's how fucked up the scenario is. They're like, we'll ask this fucking kid.
I feel like there's a lot of character traits on this show that don't match the character. The first one being Timothy Olyphant's character smoking weed, which is, it's whatever, but he just doesn't seem like the person who would do that. And then they do it with this kid too, who's like this strange person who's into like this weird dark stuff, but he just doesn't look the part at all.
No, I think he does. He's that like nerdy internet kid rule. Like, he looks like he'd be that.
No, but I feel like he should look like, I don't know, gothier is the only word I can think of to like get my point across. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like this show is, I like it, but they do a lot of things lazy. And this is one of them. Like, the other thing that really bugged me, I wanted to talk about, I couldn't get a word in though earlier, was when they have the daughter listening for the heartbeat too. It's like, you have a teenage daughter. Why would you involve her in her mother potentially being dead? Like,
No, that's smart. Yeah, you'd be like, we're fine, kid.
Yeah, like, it's just, I don't know. It's a little outrageous, and I get that's what they're going for with this show, but I feel like they don't ease you into it.
Yeah. This show does have this weird, obviously pulling aside the nature of there being like, undead elements to it, but without that, the show definitely takes on a somewhat satirical nature. So there are things that are a little like seem odd, but their approach is different than you'd see in standard shows. I do agree that like maybe they should have been trying to hide it for the daughter. Like, maybe that's a reveal for a later episode where they're trying to hide it until the daughter catches her doing something strange, instead of kind of revealing it to both of them at once.
The thing is, she's doing strange things nonstop. She would have caught on sooner than later.
Yeah.
So if they were hiding it, I think I would say, why are they hiding it?
But the daughter could just think like, wow, mom's getting really cool lately. You know what I mean? Like, they could have played that off for a little bit. I wouldn't say I agree with like the...
But then you'd ruin the fast cut to the Range Rover scene.
But I think like as far as like how this kid should look, or like how someone smoking weed, I don't know if I like feel that way about that, because I think, as you kind of learn through life, there's like your stereotypes, but for the most part, like, anyone can kind of fit anything.
I'm not saying he doesn't fit. I'm saying he doesn't look like, they didn't do a good enough job of explaining the character, or not like introducing the character in a way.
See, that I agree with, because your only experience with him is him being in a car yelling, "Mom, no!" and like knowing that he jerks off to the daughter. So you should have at least got a scene with him being a weirdo earlier.
What I think would have made this work is splitting the difference between the two of you is if you cut to his room and he's got like anime posters and gothy stuff or whatever, there was one of those anatomical diagram posters. Like you're sitting in the doctor's office and you're waiting for them to come in. There's like posters of like muscles and shit. Like, if you had one of those in there, just in the background as like a foreground or background thing that you could see, you might be like, oh, he's into medical whatever, right? Like, you'd have the at least understanding.
But no, they're not asking him because of medical stuff. They're asking him because he's like
cult stuff.
He's like a weirdo, yeah. But like that, I feel like would have been like a little better. Like, he also, maybe he reads medical text too, right? Like, he has like a better understanding of this than just, he's not just open because he's younger, I
don't know. This kid doesn't seem like he has a lane on his character, and it just doesn't seem like, he just seems like a plot device that they haven't like honed yet, and I feel like that's happened a couple times already.
I mean, I don't know if I personally see him, because like I thought it was funny how like he was taking it very seriously and diagnosing her, but all the while is still like a nervous, horny teenager when he's talking to Abby, and like, so he'd be like, okay, like, do you feel this? He's like almost like talking to Sheila like he's a doctor, but then when he looks at Abby, he'd be like, hey. She's like, yeah, we said hi already. Yeah, but like not when we were in my room. So it's like he's still like, he kind of flashes back and forth, and I thought that was funny of him. But after looking at Sheila, he finally goes, okay, so it looks like she's dead and also undead. And that's when Joel's like, what the fuck? like I'm sorry. What are you saying? She's a zombie? He's like, I don't like that word. I think it's inherently negative.
One of Olyphant's best line readings in the episode too, though, the what the fuck.
I'm glad they say the word. It always bothers me in The Walking Dead that they call them everything but zombies.
Yeah, it's like very. I think wasn't Shaun of the Dead like the first zombie movie to say zombie?
Yeah.
It's just they don't use the word.
They say we brought it twice now, but Return of the Living Dead, they mention zombies because it's also like satirical.
I could swear in Return of the Living Dead, they mainly just call them the dead, right? I don't remember them saying zombies.
That's what I thought too. I don't know.
I thought they say zombies when they're talking, when like they're in the
It's like very
cremation room.
well known that they like these movies never use the word zombies for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Even in Shaun of the Dead, they say the Z word.
Well, I would assume in a lot of the movies, we're living in a world where up until they pop up, they've never seen anything like that before. Yeah, so they don't have a name for it. She's saying like, I don't feel dead and undead. I feel really alive actually. And Joel's telling this kid like she's been very exuberant. Exuberant? Yeah, like the daughter's like they've been doing a lot. He's saying, well, one thing we know about the undead is they're completely driven by their id. And the id is the part of the brain that demands us to satisfy our desires.
Opposed to the ego.
So that apparently, so is he saying that she just always had these sexual desires? Or like, is that like, is he basically saying like this is the real her coming out almost?
Yeah. This is the stuff that she suppresses, yeah.
We're going by like other zombie things. Like, your id is what controls like, your instincts too. So you'd be just going by your first instinct. That's why your first instinct is to feed. That's why they're always trying to eat people over, thinking, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't eat people."
Yeah, it's like your base instincts, like eating,
Right. Eat,
sex,
sleep. Yeah, sex.
poop.
Olyphant.
Elephant.
I'd show him the elephant.
Timothy Elephant.
Joel's like, how could this happen? We're realtors. And he's like, well, most new viruses come from animals like monkeys or bats. As humans destroy their habitats, we're exposed to all kinds of unfamiliar diseases. I mean, we're the real so-called zombies, aren't we? Consuming everything we want without any regard for consequences.
And also, we haven't, like, I don't know if we officially have decided on it was an animal thing, but, like, this being right pre-COVID is kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, it's not really interesting. It's always been like that. That's what,
Yeah, when you hear about everything, like, what's the movie they made us watch in high school so many times? It's so fucking boring about Ebola.
Yeah.
Outbreak. Look, I love everyone in that movie. That movie's so fucking boring. It's like watching paint dry. But that's like a classic. Like, okay,
I don't think that's a
crazy.
boring movie. I think Winthrop ruined that movie for me.
Maybe I'll watch it now and be like, what do I think? But that's the thing, right? It's like, oh, they figured out like animals caused it. We should probably just stop fucking with animals. Is I think the moral of that story.
Rage monkeys.
It's funny because they're still talking to this kid like he's a fucking doctor or a true expert on this. It's like, well, is there anything else we need to know? It's like, oh yeah, always keep her fed. I'm pretty sure we don't want to find out what happens to her when she's hungry.
Now I actually have more questions than anything. Do zombies exist in this world? And like, she's but it's a rare case, or is he getting his information from he's seen movies?
I'm guessing he's a kid who's just into this shit, so he knows like what any kid who's into this shit would know just from.
Yeah, that's what I assumed, but
from the movies, yeah, I'm sure there's probably like some knowledge of like Haitian zombies, right? Because it's like a thing that kind of exists. It's not really the undead.
Oh, Serpent in the Rainbow.
Fuck, when he falls in the coffin in the movie as a kid, I was so scared.
And he's saying basically, hey, but if these symptoms start getting worse, you may have to like what? Bash her brains in. And there's like that awkward silence again. And he just, again from Joel, we're realtors.
I love that he goes, bash her brains and not put her down or something like that.
Right.
So you gotta bash her brains in.
Because you need that like shock value of that line to make you go, ooh, whoa.
To Ferg's point, I think this is when the episode should have ended. This should have been episode 1. We're
Yeah.
realtors. That's when you cut it. And then we go into the next episode.
Like I said, we're realtors. Cut the credit song. Like,
Yeah. Instead, we get an entire I may or may not suck Nathan Fillion's dick fucking scene for so long, which, like, again, this episode, it's not too long when not taking notes, but when you're doing an analytical sort of, breakdown of it, I think that maybe this is too much in one episode.
also, can't believe that they didn't go the road of her blowing Nathan Fillion and biting his dick off. Just saying. I thought it was coming. It never did.
I do like it because she's true to Timothy Olyphant, and who would cheat on him?
But if you're being led by your id, you might.
Well, we'll get to that later when the scene comes up. So here, they're leaving the house and they're talking about what's going on. And they're talking about like, hey, we have to keep this within ourselves. We can't talk to other people about this. She's like, oh, what a beautiful afternoon. Let's buy a Range Rover. So she's like not even like everything that's just being told of her is kind of not even processing. And she's just kind of still kind of living a little bit as a free spirit here. And at this point, she looks over and she sees a snail. And she's like, ooh, look what I found. And he's like, don't eat the snail. And then, okay. And she's just eating, like chopping on a live snail she found, like shell and all. I mean, I know a snail can be a delicacy. Do they?
Escargot.
That's not, sir. Is it ever served in shell?
No.
I doubt it.
No, I don't think it's also alive either.
No, I know it's not alive, but like you could, in theory, cook it and have like a way where it's returned to the shell for like plating purposes or whatever.
I mean, the shell may be on the plate for a
A show, but
aesthetic
garnish
version, but yeah, garnish, but not for no one's gonna eat the shell. Be a tough morning.
It would be like sunflower seeds, AJ.
As this is happening, you have Dan, the cop who lives there. He's pulling up. They're like, hey, Dan, how was work? Is Lisa home? No, should be soon, though, I'm guessing. I don't really know her schedule. He's like, what are you guys doing here? And Joel's nervous and laughs. He's like, that we were talking to Eric. Eric, why? Oh, we found a football in the yard, and we thought it might be his. He's like, Eric doesn't own a football or anything that would make him come outside. Like, yeah, that's what we said. So, mystery looter not solved.
Why didn't they just have Eric come to their house instead of the three of them going there?
Maybe he had more books.
If they're that worried about being seen, like, by the neighbors, like, have him just come over. Because so that just tells me that they did it this way for the sake of the joke and not for...
Yeah, this could have been skipped.
Yeah, this is definitely, when we're talking about like a long episode, this whole scene. I know we want to make him the villain because we're going to use him later on in the season, but like, we could have skipped this whole scene.
Because, yeah, I gotta say it a little bit. The girls just like run off laughing, like while the two guys are talking, and like, don't shoot. And the daughter's saying, shoot her. And it gets awkward. And then Dan's like, hey, so where is this football anyways? He's like, oh, we threw it over the fence. So as you would say, case closed. And he turns around and follows the girls into the house.
The one upset here is they do make him like a cop who's asking questions where he's like, well, where's the football? Right? Like, that's what you want the character to do, is to have those tendencies to be like leading questions. Like, okay, so if you came over here, because you assume cops would ask that.
What about Neighbors?
With Jim Belushi, that'd be a weird different movie. With John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, it's a different movie altogether.
And from that whole interaction, we cut inside the house and we're following the girls. They walk in first after the whole don't shoot thing. And they're like, the two girls are joking about it, Sheila and Abby. Sheila's like, you would be a terrible partner in a crime spree. Abby's going, it's called self-preservation, and it's an instinct you should be happy I have. Joel walks in right behind them. He's like, this is exactly what we don't want. Dan is suspicious. What if he asks Eric about it? And they're like, Eric's not going to say anything. He's like, how do you know? He's like, because Eric hates his stepdad. And then Sheila's like, oh, that's sad. I feel bad for Eric. He has a crappy stepdad. Maybe we should adopt Eric. He's like, that's out of the question.
That would lead to a very Roseanne scenario.
Maybe Dan goes over and punches them, comes home with a broken fist, and gets taken by the police.
Mm-hmm.
You know the episode.
Yes, I do.
And now Sheila's going, I'm hungry and there's no hamburger left. Oh, I'll go get you some food. But yeah, when I come back, we have to make you a plan. So you stay here. Don't go anywhere. She's like, yeah, all right.
With her acting so erratic, why doesn't he take her with him? Like, don't leave her alone.
Because she's acting so erratic.
Well, I don't think he knows the extent of like what she would do when he's not around either. Like what happens is not something that he had a precedent for yet. Which for anyone listening is the second he leaves, she goes to test drive a Range Rover and she's just like, whipping it down the street, like having a blast.
They do such a great gag here that shows don't do anymore that I laughed so hard at rewatching, which is when the daughter comes back in. She's got her hair like hairsprayed out from the wind of the test drive, which like, that's such a dumb visual gag. That was such an 80s sitcom joke, where it's like, they do it, I think maybe once in The Office actually, but I enjoyed that a lot, where it's like, we're having some fun with this now too, right? We're playing in the sitcom world a little, where she comes in and she has like the weird arc of hair.
Yeah, because while he was driving that whole time, Abby was like head out of the back seat and just like letting the wind really whip her hair around. So yeah, when we see her inside now, it's just, she just looks like a mad scientist basically now.
Like the Geico pig commercial.
Whee!
Way funnier than it should have any right to be, but it's so fucking funny.
We cut back to Joel and he's putting the groceries away. And that's when Abby walks up to him and we see, like was just mentioned a second, her hair's still like, pretty out there and wild. And he's like, what happened to your hair? And where's mom? We cut to Sheila and she's at a bar with, Lisa for ladies' night, like the thing we heard about like earlier in the episode. It's like they're physically there now.
This all really makes me dislike the daughter.
There's never been a reason to like her in the episode once.
Yeah, you're taking advantage of the situation. You want the mom to get the Range Rover so you can get her car. And you're letting her go out knowing all this is going on when you should be watching her. It's like, she could be in some serious danger and you're just like, oh, she went out.
Especially if you're like, I bet that mom watched her like a hawk when she was a kid. Like it's that thing where like, you have to then eventually turn the corner where you're like, you have to take care of your parents too a little bit. But just being a good human, where you're like, maybe I don't let mom go out and like murder somebody tonight, because there are consequences to that, right? Like this isn't even like, oh, I don't want to deal with the cleanup. This is like, mom could go to jail forever if we're at the bar and she eats Nathan Fillion. Like that's like a problem you would have to deal with a lot of consequences. Nathan Fillion? Like can't not say it. Like it's broken in my brain from Big Mouth.
So he's asking Abby like, hey, what happened to your hair and where's your mom? And then we cut to Sheila and now we see her like at the bar with Lisa and all the girls for ladies' night, as the thing she got invited to earlier that she said she couldn't do. And Lisa's excited. She's like, I'm glad you finally decided to join us. She's like, yeah, this is fantastic. From now on, include me in everything. And the other girls that are in the clique are like, I can't believe you went out and just bought yourself a Range Rover. She's like, yeah, I've been wanting one ever since this morning.
I do love that line though, because like it does help to show like her erratic state.
This wasn't like a real dream of hers. It's just she adopted the dream.
It also goes to show you how well they're doing, right? Because like I'm sure we all have this moment where you're like, you wake up one morning, you're like, I want this thing, and you go and you buy it, and you feel kind of guilty about it, but it's not a $60,000 car. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, I could make this happen today, and then you feel bad about it, but it's still not something that will fuck you up monetarily. Like your bank account isn't going to hurt too hard. She's just like, I'll just buy an expensive car. They must have a decent bank account. They're selling houses.
I was going to say, I'd like to know how successful they are at realtoring.
I'd say enough to buy a Range Rover on no notice, right? That's probably pretty good.
Yeah, but did she wipe out their savings or are they still fine? Like, we don't know.
It's a good question, yeah.
They seem pretty upset about losing that listing. And so it's like, was that going to save them?
And that house seems like it's probably pretty expensive in that neighborhood.
So all the girls are talking, and because of the fact that Sheila just went out and bought this car, they're like, we should all just, do what we want when we want. And they're laughing and like, hey, Sheila, there's a cute guy at the bar looking at you. And you look over and it's Gary. And she goes, hey, that's Gary. He just moved here. And Lisa's like, oh, you like him. Are you two gonna bone? Lisa, what? We decided we shouldn't deny ourselves things. Boning is a thing.
I really like the line boning is a thing. It's so silly and so over the fucking top, yeah.
In the context of this kind of show, I guess it's kind of fine, but even in a show like this, her character is teetering a line of a little too extreme for me.
Even earlier when like they're talking at the cars, she's like, we're not gonna sleep with them. At least that's what we're gonna tell our husbands. It's like,
I feel like, speaking of like where we're all from, weird parallels to like the Karen Reed case, which is like the drunk blonde girlfriend and the fucking cop. It's like the whole thing sort of is like boning's a thing. I'm on Channel 4, my fucking underwear. Like the whole thing just feels like the Karen Reed trial.
Why does Lisa have some sort of a leaky butthole or something that I'm unaware of?
We don't know yet.
She could.
She murdered a cop, and I still felt bad for her when they were saying that on the stand. It was like, this poor fucking woman.
Do you guys think Nathan Fillion is just there by coincidence, or was this planned?
I'll accept a coincidence. I don't know if he's like stalking her.
I don't accept coincidence. He's a fucking creep in this. I think he absolutely followed them.
That is true.
I felt like he's new in town. That's like how I read it. So he's new in town, and this is where they all go to drink. So like the boss was like, "Oh, everyone goes to drink at Charlie's or whatever." So he went there.
It would have helped if there was some sort of a line that even if he overheard people talking about it or her talking about it, like in his ears perked up, you know what I mean, to like justify that he's there because he knows she'll be there. But yeah, we didn't really get anything like that. All the girls are dancing, and you just see Gary like watching on. As he's watching the girls, he looks over and then he spots Joel walk in also. And Joel's like, Sheila, let's go home. And he's like, no, I don't want to. He's like, come on. And she's like, no, let's dance. And he's like, sweetheart, you bought a car and now you're grinding on neighbors and this is not who you are. Maybe it is. Maybe this is who I've always wanted to be. And this kind of goes back to that id thing we were talking about earlier. They're going back and forth because he's trying to get her home. And then Gary steps in. He's like, is there a problem? And like, as soon as the second that happened, I'm like, first off, like, all right, so you're trying to, like, okay, you want to fuck Sheila. We don't know the extent of it, but it's obvious as soon as he does this, right? And even when he was just watching on earlier. You work with both of these people and you have the audacity to, like, do the, like, is there a problem? Like, basically the day you met them.
You're trying to sleep with a married woman. Their husband comes in and you're like, is there a problem here? Like, dude, fuck right
this
the fuck
scene
off.
Hurt the show for me, in my opinion, because it made me hate everyone. It made me hate her for being such a weird bitch to her husband. And while like weird shit's going on, it made me hate Nathan Fillion for like so many reasons. Just like injecting himself in between a married couple who are dealing with something, and then it made me hate Tim. What the hell is the husband's name? I can't think of it.
Joel.
It made me dislike Joel because of how he dealt with it. You're just like, oh, all right, bye.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't got to that part, so we'll get to it. And it's just like everything that was done here would not happen in any situation in real life ever. I get that we're talking about a zombie show here and that we're already supposed to, suspend our disbelief here, but I just really, really didn't like the scene and how it was handled. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
And this scene would bother me the most when he's like, you'll lose the fight. And he's like, that's irrelevant. Like, he's admitting he'll lose the fight. The next line should have been like, yeah, but I'll bite your fucking nose off. That's my wife. You know what I mean? Like, you...
Yeah, he's such a bitch about it. Yeah.
You admit you're going to get beat up in this fight. You're like, fine, look, if you're going to fuck my wife, and, like, obviously she's not going to do it, but we're going to start a fight here, then, like, yeah, you may be bigger than me. You can punch me or whatever, but, like, I'm going to rip your fucking dick off, man. Like, this isn't going to be, like, a fair fight. Like, I'm going to take you down and swing as hard as I can while you're beating me up.
I'm going to hit you with this fucking bottle. Like,
right.
It's just a very odd situation for him to come in and try to, like, white knight
a married woman.
A married couple, yeah. Like,
it's not like they're dating, or it's like these are your two coworkers that you know are married.
You've been to their house, you've seen their children. Like, it's just like
yeah, you saw their child.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't like it at all.
That said, though, I will say it does help to make the end scene work better. But I think that scene should be a scene in episode 2. We've all talked about this. I think that this episode goes on longer than it needs to.
But again, that goes back to them kind of just being lazy about this. This could have been honed more. You know what I mean? This is a very...
They should have covered up the fact that Nathan Fillion's a scumbag. He should have been, like, cool the whole episode, and then his true intentions come out later. And it's like a reveal that he's a fucking predator.
Eventually it gets to the point where it's just the two guys talking. The way that, like, Gary's handling, like, this whole conversation privately between the two, at first it's like, all right, well, like, this is my wife. You understand that. And he's, like, basically just doing, like, the whole chest out, you want to fight me? He's like, because you look like a guy who loses bar fights. He's like, you're missing the point here. He's like, oh, you just don't want to fight me because you're afraid you'll lose. He's like, no, that's wrong. Losing is a given. He's like, that's right. He's like, and it's irrelevant. You mean inevitable? Like, damn it. He's like, at this point in my life, I'm not going to be the kind of person who wins a bar fight. Like, God, fuck. He's like, what's the matter with you? And yeah, just the way that Gary just keeps, like, cutting him off and be like, you want to go? Like, oh, because you're afraid of me? And he's just not listening to anything that Joel's trying to tell him. Like,
they do make him a good villain here. Like, you fucking hate him.
But they turn him up to super villain so quick, and it's almost like without warning.
I don't even have that big of an issue with him not wanting to fight. He's like older, mature. It's like, I'm not getting in a bar fight. My biggest issue is the fact that he fucking gives in and leaves her there. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're that much of a pushover. You leave
That
your
is a
wife
problem.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, just put yourself, anybody listening, put yourself in these shoes. Your significant other, don't need to be married or anything, are at a bar. There is a man there who is very obviously trying to hit on her without hiding it, and she's been drinking. And you just go home. You don't do that. That's so weird. And then, okay, let's just say you remove yourself from the situation, you're mature about it, whatever. You don't just go home and calmly go to sleep. Like, you're going to stew on that. It's insane. I hate this scene.
That is the tie one on to end tie one ons forever. You would be drinking or doing whatever all night long and like shooting whatever gun you own into the tree in your backyard. Like, that's when people lose their fucking minds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. Joel, from the beginning, when he's being like antagonized by Gary, he's like, oh, because you'll lose. Like, yeah, I know I'll lose the fight. That's not the point. So, like, he's very aware of that right from the beginning. He's like, look at you. You're way bigger than me. Obviously, I'll lose the fight. But as far as the other thing that you said, at what point, like, if you have to force your girlfriend or wife or whatever to not cheat on you, like, it's like...
That's the other thing that makes me dislike her. She's being very, like, difficult about this to the point where that's the one thing I get where he's like, all right, fine, I'm just going to leave because you're being a dick about this. So I get that small part of it. Just everything else doesn't make any sense.
But she's also not herself right now, so it's not.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. This is where it gets confusing to me because, like, we learned that through this process, she's going through some sort of a personality shift, but we don't exactly know, like, what that means because it means a lot of different things. Yeah. So now she's drunk and she sees life differently also. So you don't know exactly what her angle is because, like, it's not clearly defined how this undead thing has shifted her personality.
Would alcohol work on a zombie?
I was just thinking the same thing. That's a weird thing, right? We're like, we know in these rules you can still get drunk as a zombie. Your liver should be shut down, right?
She may have puked it up. We don't even know. She puked up something earlier. That was an organ.
So my thought on this, we know that she has a heightened sexual drive due to her interaction with Joel earlier. So you would think that she would go out and cheat.
Well, there's still a moral compass. Like, she has a heightened sexual drive. Like, we were joking earlier about taking testosterone. That could increase your, like, sexual appetite. It doesn't mean you're just going to cheat. There's still, like, a morality aspect to everything.
No, but with her personality change, this is just the only evidence that we've seen.
Yeah, there's the personality change, there's alcohol, there's a guy who is trying to fuck her, and then there's these fucking neighbors that are egging it on. So this is fucking 4 strikes now, more than 3, that it's like, you don't leave her.
When Joel did leave, and you see Gary just get more aggressive, so after all that, Joel leaves, and Sheila's talking to him, and he's like, "Hey, so I'm sorry. I really hate seeing women treated badly like that." And she's like very blunt. It's not gonna work. He goes, "Oh, really? How about this?" And like grabs her and like pulls her up to him in a very grindy way. He's like, "Oh my!" And like that's like just it's a lot. It's a lot to be doing stuff like that.
I think in editing, though, it does work to have the scene end that way and then have the Joel scene start the way it does. Yeah.
Because you don't know. Yeah. You don't know where it's going to go. But I'm just saying, like, this character is to be the new guy. Maybe they shouldn't have made him the new guy at work. You know what I mean? Maybe he should have just been the office dickhead. Because, like, a lot of shows establish those right away.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe if there was a little more history, but, like, for him to just, like, meet them, be like, "Hey, nice to meet you guys," and then just to be the total villain a minute later without, like, much there, it just seemed like it was so extreme it was hard to believe. But maybe if we knew there was a history.
It just seems like this story doesn't lend itself to 30-minute episodes because they rushed a lot of the development for both the story and the characters. And I feel like it's really noticeable. And I don't dislike it, but it's just, it leaves too much to be desired, I think.
Yeah, it's weird. There's a lot of times though when we've kind of armchair quarterback these things where we look at it and like, in my opinion, like for this, a lot of things could have been fixed with like simple one-liners to just give you a little bit of exposition that we're missing a lot. And again, I just don't know if because this show takes such this satirical tone to it, if it's intentional that they keep things very vague and unexplained. Like we don't know exactly what made her the way she is at this point or anything. They don't even like hint to what could have happened to her the night before. She just woke up one day with a stomach ache, and basically the next day she's eating meat, you know?
But you had a good point. There's no reason for him to be the new guy, because if he, like you said, had been the office dickhead, you can explain why he's Timothy Olyphant's rival.
Yeah, why they don't like each other, why it could have been as simple as like, you know, that could have been her ex-boyfriend from high school.
But he just shows up hating him for no reason. It's like he just fucking hates Timothy Olyphant.
Like Joe said, though, the end kind of like, or it gives a good reason why that you can't have a long-standing character there.
Oh, sure, but
you know,
there's just a little more backstory we could have got to justify his actions, and I don't think it would have taken that long to explain. Especially where we've encountered scenes here that seemed a little bloaty. We cut to the next morning, and now we're seeing Joel waking up in his bed, and he's still in all his clothes from the night before. So maybe that is, you know, a little bit of a sign that he's been kind of stewing over what's going on, and you know, just happened to eventually crash. Maybe he was waiting for her to come home, and then instinctively he turns to like go to Sheila because he's in bed, and that's just how he does it every morning, and she's not there.
Too worried either.
I mean, there's again like the. What about when he first finds out she's dead and he's just kind of like smiling in the room and like, oh, there's a lot of things he's maybe missed the mark on.
Now say none of that happened and he did get her to come home. Knowing everything you know, would you sleep in bed with a zombie?
Yeah, I know, right?
Eats him at night.
He heads downstairs to make some more toast. And when he does, the knob comes off the toaster. And he already hates this toaster, as we know. So he like stares at it for a second, and then he just brings it outside and smashes it to the ground.
He has an Office Space moment.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very much an Office Space moment, you know?
When he does it, like he's talking shit. He's like, huh? Oh, you happy now, big man? And then he does the, you are, because he's like doing what Gary was doing to him in the bar. Like, just like, yeah, you are. So now he's doing the same thing to the, obviously not talking back to him 8x10. And then, like, right after that, you see him, like, stopped inside of, like, a strip mall parking lot. And he's, like, in one of the parking spots. And he grabs his weed and everything. And he starts smoking in the car a little bit. So now we're cutting to Joel. And he's, like, sitting in his car in a strip mall parking lot, smoking weed. And then right after that, he's in that same store that he was in before. And he's looking at the toaster ovens. And we get that same girl from last time who... you know, helped him with the stethoscope, and it's the same situation. Now she's like, hey, my manager noticed you've been staring at the toaster ovens for like a really long time. And then, oh, it's you. And he's like, hey, do you know which ones have like knob without any slack? She's like, no, does it matter? He's like, I thought so. I did, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe I shouldn't care about toaster knobs or being responsible or descending into chaos. Why should I be the only one in the family who gives a crap, right? And she's like, this one's cheaper. It's like, maybe I want to have fun, drive a fancy car, dance like a sex lunatic. And he starts like dancing around the aisle and like grinding up against things. And she goes, this is the thing I didn't expect, is when she goes, you're a good dancer.
That killed me. That's my favorite line of the whole episode.
Because I didn't expect it. I didn't expect her to be like, whoa, cool. And he's like, you're missing the point, Ramona. He's like, I don't want to dance. I don't want to know the shitty toaster oven. And he gets out.
Another reason why the whole weed smoking thing doesn't make sense for his particular character. He's so uptight. It's like, you think he'd be more like chill.
So after Joel leaves the store, we cut to Sheila, and she's just like outside in the yard. And Gary shows up. And she's like, Gary? He's like, I rang the bell, but then I saw your car in the driveway. And she's like, oh, that's fine. Gardening relaxes me. And he's like, I just want to make sure you're all right. It's like, because I didn't want to have sex with you last night. Yeah, I'm fine. They're talking and she's like, she's telling him how like after she like was just walking around like and just ended up in a dumpster behind Chili's, and she's like, they throw away so much raw meat. And like while she's giving like this kind of small talk, he does the whole grab her and pull her up against him again. It's like, oh, okay. He's like, how about we start over? I don't think so. Are you sure? I am. Are you?
This is such a weird, aggressive move to do to a person, too. It's fucking bananas that you think you could do this to another person.
Yeah. It's like, you don't hate him enough. Let's have him sexually assault her a little more. It's like, you can't feel bad at all that she eats him.
No. Well, yeah, no, it's so aggressive. Like, I mean, when you just walked over to her house or drove over, but like, I mean, the husband should be there.
Yeah, what was his game plan?
You're blatantly flirting with her in front of her boyfriend or husband, really. And yeah, there's just his situational awareness when it comes to that stuff's terrible.
Like, what was his plan if the husband was home? Like, thank God he broke a toaster.
I think his plan was to still do this because I feel like he thinks he bested Joel. You know what I mean? Where like he could still.
Well, he says he basically tells Sheila like, hey, either we're gonna do this and we keep it a secret, or we don't do this and I tell your husband that we did anyways. And it's like, wow, like what, like the supreme piece of shit work.
Yeah, they even make him worse at this point.
Yeah,
Like, how much
somehow
more can they
made
hate
him worse.
this character? Yeah, they just fucking drill it even harder.
It's because Nathan Fillion's so likable. They really have to fucking make him a piece of shit for me to hate him.
And then I thought this was a decent misdirect in a way, because he goes, your unwillingness to take no for an answer has made me feel sexy and desirable. It's like, huh? It's like, and then like grabs his like fingers and starts licking his finger, and turns into a couple fingers, and
it turns into fellatio fingers.
a fellatio like situation on the fingers. And I'll say, because of like the way that she matter of factness kind of said that line before, kind of fits how she was talking to, her husband and stuff before, like with that very matter of factness to it. She's sucking on his fingers, and eventually it does the whole bite and like literally bites his fingers off. And, he starts screaming, and she's like with fingers in mouth, like kind of laughing out, I know, weirdest foreplay ever.
I don't think his reaction is good enough. He should be freaking out. He just had his fingers bit off.
But I'll tell you, like, this is dumb humor when he goes, you hate my fingers. And she goes, I do not hate your fingers. I thought that was so fucking funny.
This is the second time I've seen this, and I still laughed at it. Yeah.
It's like a perfect Drew Barrymore line too. Like it just delivered by her made it that much better.
And now she's like chomping on the hand a little bit more, and he kind of slowly heads to the ground and faints. And like once he's on the ground, like you get that aerial shot, and you see her like eventually like rip the shirt open and like start going into like his like midsection and like biting around his chest and stuff like that too. And which immediately cuts to Joel coming into the house and like yelling for Sheila, like, hey, we need to talk about last night. That was bullshit. And he's like looking around for Sheila, and eventually heads to the backyard. He goes, Sheila, and he goes, oh, and you just, the camera turns and you just see like Gary with his intestines out and all over the place, and her still like eating them. Yeah. And she just looks at him and goes, I really want to make this work. And like my thing here is like it cuts back to Joel, and he kind of does this like shrugs.
No. He's not doing shrug. He's doing what the fuck hands. He's doing like, what the fuck? Like he's doing like, I'm in crisis. Like, what do I do
but
now?
I think it was a little too like to the camera, you know what I mean? A little too goofy for a final reaction. But regardless, that was the final reaction, because the credits roll for like a solid 2 minutes after that.
Yeah.
Which my note-taking hands felt very good about.
So yeah, obviously we've talked about the whole episode quite a bit of depth. Unless anyone has anything else big they want to mention about the show, I think we can get right into the green light or cancel.
Oh man, let's hit it.
Gordo, I'll start with you.
Hate it when I go first, because I'm like on the fence about this show. Like, I want to see a second episode because I want to see maybe they go into why she's acting like this or the cause of it or something along those lines. I mean, you need to see the close of the story at least. So even if it's stupid, like she got pooped on by a bird or something and that turned her into a zombie. Good enough for me. So yeah, sure, green light.
Nick.
Yeah, I was also torn on this because I generally like it. I like the story. I love the characters. There's so much that kind of bugged me about it, though. And it was mainly with the character development and just the rushing of the primary plot. This one is tough because my gut wants to cancel it, but I think ultimately I'm gonna greenlight it just because I wanna see the next episode, and not for the wrong reasons. I am interested in the story, so I think on that alone, I'm greenlighting it. But they're gonna need to do some work in the second episode because this is a green light, but it's a pretty soft one. But there's enough there for the green light, so I'm interested to see what happens if they explain more as to why this is happening to her, if it happens to other people, how they deal with it, and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's enough there for the green light, but there definitely room for improvement, though.
Ferg.
I'm on the same page as the other two. I'm on the fence with this show. Got a lot of pacing and tonal issues, but end of the day, I'm literally going to watch more of this show. It was hard for me to stop, so I must have liked it. I think this should have been 2 episodes. It could have been split into 2. Elaborate a little more on the before and then a little bit on the after in the second. This was a rushed pilot, and I think it hurt it, but it was interesting enough for me to, I'm attached to some of the characters. I like the characters. I like the story. I like the premise. They like Nick said, they need to work on a lot of that, but it'll get the green light from me. Very soft one, but green light.
Joe.
I think I'm with all of you, although I think it's less of a soft green light. I really do enjoy this. And again, I watched all of it when it came out. I saw the whole thing. I think the thing I agree with most is we did talk about a few different points where I think it could have ended better. I think instead of making it a 10-episode season, they should have made it a 12-episode season and spread some of this episode out a little more. But that's a pretty minor complaint, considering this is everything to it. And look, I'm not a person who loves horror comedy. Usually it takes a lot for me to like horror and comedy together, and they do a great job with this. It's a very fun cast as well. I think that you want a couple that you can actually root for in a situation like this, and I think that having Drew Barrymore do the Drew Barrymore thing and be kind of that like aloof, goofy she used to be really works as somebody who's transitioning into a zombie. Also, without giving spoilers, Gary does not go away. Gary is a character that keeps going in this show, and that is worth the rest of the show alone. So I will say it's a green light for me.
Easier than most of you. I thought this was a pretty solid, easy green light. I really didn't have too much to complain about. My biggest issues were, like I said, there's a lot of things that don't really get explained. I feel like that's somewhat intentional because you can leave it a little loose and figure it out as you go along. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's like a fun watch. It's like she becomes a fucking zombie, like that can still function as a normal human being. So like, you take shows like that with a grain of salt, and I thought she was really funny and Timothy's really funny in it. So ultimately, like, yeah, it was an easy way. I watched it before. I fell off for one reason or another. I don't really know why, but yeah, no, it was a fun watch. It was fun to revisit it, and I liked it as much as I remember liking it the first time around. So it's a green light for me. With that being said, congratulations to Santa Clarita Diet. That is a perfect 5 out of 5. You get the green light from us. And with that concludes another spooky dookie year. So thank you to everyone who's listened throughout the entire month. But, just because October's over doesn't mean we're done doing shows. So keep listening each and every week. We have a new episode for you. Hit us up on our social medias, S1E1 Pod, S1E1Pod.com is where you can find all the links to where to listen to us as well if you want to get a t-shirt, all that stuff. So again, thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you again next week with a new episode next week. Until then, thank you. Goodbye.
I think we got the best hate fingers.